My name is Mark Worswick. I am a personal trainer and nutritionist, working both one-on-one with clients and also online coaching. Actually got started, went to college, didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I had a keen interest in physiology, so I excelled at kind of biology and PE. Got to the end of it, still didn't really know what I wanted to do, even though I really enjoyed training. And then one of my friends, best friend in fact, he said to me like one day, he's like, oh, my mum's just been to a career thing and there's someone doing personal training. There's a 6-week course we can do. And I was like, oh, don't really know. Looked into it further and just kind of, bit of a bullet, went for it and ended up loving it. To actually get into the industry, qualifications you need as a personal trainer, unfortunately it's really quite easy. Or fortunately in one respect, but unfortunate because it doesn't really regulate the standard. So it's a 6-week course I did, which was 5 days a week, so they call it full-time, or you can do 2 months online. So that's actually all you need to do. Within that, they do a very brief bit on physiology, how to train, first aid, a bit of nutrition, and then you can basically go and train anyone. However, that's the only necessary qualifications. I'd definitely consider as soon as you get there, just invest in yourself, try and learn, read, do everything you can, do CPD courses. A lot of those are within the same industry that teach those qualifications. So Premier, Future Fit, a few off the top of my head. There's probably loads now. But also seminars on the weekends. I was going up to St Mary's College. I was going into London to see some of the guys I followed on Instagram, Facebook, kind of public speaking stuff. And then was just applying it through there really. So it's a pretty easy qualification to get, but to excel, I'd really invest further in seminars, CPD stuff. I think at first it's just a matter of giving everything a shot. You're kind of new into the industry, see where your kind of strengths are, what you enjoy more so, where your passion is. So I remember doing kind of very basic stuff like doing a weekend on kettlebells or a weekend on like a boot camp, extra nutrition stuff, very small courses, but it just gives you an idea of where your passion is. Mine was actually nutrition. So from there, I actually enrolled on a 1-year course called Mac Nutrition Uni last September. I've done a few since, smaller courses, but this is the kind of creme de la creme of nutrition courses you can do. So a lot of doctors are doing it, a lot of people coming from university that have done even masters in nutrition, because you do get all the academia from university, but this course is really cool because it actually upskills you on business, soft skills, and how to actually apply it to real world clients. So you get the knowledge, which is evidence-based, not pseudoscience like a lot of other nutrition courses, unfortunately. But it also, says, right, this is a client, this is how you approach it. If they're like this, it's, gives you loads of different angles. So you come away from that year knowing how to work with anyone. So you can do 2. I think you can do online, or you can do the step up, which is a full with honours. So it covers 2 residentials throughout the year, which is a body composition reading weekend and a case study weekend. So you go away and you actually they give you client case studies, and like I was saying, they'll talk you through every step of the way how to approach it. The actual way I do it is they send you a lecture every week. You kind of log in. You don't have to. I mean, if you really want, you could be 4 weeks behind and do 4 in a row. But they give them to you, drip feed 1 a week. They give you homework on it. So what you learn in that lecture, go ahead or go away and try and apply it to real life or do something with it. They do a quiz, which doesn't go towards the final exam score, so you can redo that if you actually have to get 100% on that to get onto the next lecture. So you can keep redoing it until you get it right. And then it gives you some optional further reading. So you're looking at anywhere between 1 hour a week if you just do the lecture, to get the qualification, or if you really want to get the most out of it, I'd say probably looking at 3 to 5 hours a week. Geek out on Friday nights now on PubMed rather than down the pub, which is a bit different. So I'll start off with personal training and nutrition, kind of one-to-one skills. So communicative or communication skills rather, definitely the most important. So being able to talk, but more so to be able to listen. Have integrity through everything as well. There's a lot of people in it for wrong reasons, I think, or really willing to sell out and be sponsored, or not saying some people sponsored are selling out, but a lot of people are willing to you know, sell Herbalife or Booty and other stuff. But if you just show that you're really, you know, humble and just want them to get the best results without trying to, you know, rip them off, I think you excel a lot more. So a bit of integrity, but communication skills massive. With regards to the online coaching, you've got a bit more marketing, and that's probably where I not fail a bit, but it's my weakest area, so I need a lot more work on it because it is online. You've got to be yourself, you've got to put yourself out there. There are loads of smaller companies like online that help you through that process, so I'm going to hopefully start one of those advertising soon. You have to have a passion as well. A lot of people get into it because they're, you know, massive, and in the gym, they're like, oh, I love the gym, so I'm going to be a personal trainer, but they don't normally last long because you've got to, you know, love people, be willing to spend an hour with someone, you know, 6 to 8 hours a day, and, you know, you've got to turn up, smile on your face no matter how you feel, and you've just got to be very outgoing, I think, with that. So extroverts with the nutrition and personal training. Online coaching, if you're willing to, you know, stay out of the camera, I suppose, and just have a website, people sign up, you could be quite introverted, I suppose. Just put out really good content. So I know there's loads of different ways for it, but yeah, communication would be the huge one. So I'd get up around 6 o'clock, have a coffee, check emails, Facebook, Instagram, the usual, see who's messaged me, try and reply to them, check my diary for the day. I've probably done it before, always very geeky, and do like a to-do list for the next day. So 7 o'clock normally, if I do have a client, will be where I'll have my first client, 7 till 8. Then I'll have one 8 till 9, and then 8:15 to 9:15. Have a little break. Then I may have one more client. If not, I do some like social media posts or a bit of time on business, whatever's on my to-do list. Then around 10:30, 11, depending when, go to the gym. If I make it to the gym, this is a hopeful day for me. After the gym, probably 12 o'clock, 12:30, have some lunch. Back to my laptop, try and block out 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock TOB, which is basically my time on business. So whether that again is answering clients on my kind of app, like inline messenger, replying to them, focus on building further forward, you know, projections, anything really. So I just try and keep that free, or if someone rings me and I've got to go do something, so just keep that free. Where am I? 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock, again, keep free for personal training. 8 o'clock dinner, and then 9 o'clock onwards, kind of chill. Yeah, but I end up normally working anyway, but try and chill. Yeah, so that's a main day. Other than that, I've got a couple of nights a week where I do like a weekly workshop at a health club near me, and that's where I have like a not team, sort of mentorship, I suppose, like 10 to 15 people are paid for a 12-week package, take them through 45 minutes of a week by week or mentoring program, I suppose, on how to lose fat the most productive way. So they come week 1, set them up on my app, talk to them about, I don't know, rates of fat loss, a few things, make it personal to them. They go away, apply all the homework, come back week 2, a new subject, talk about, answer any questions from a week before. So it's like a take on, I suppose, Weight Watchers and Slimming World with the community side of things. So they come as a community, but it's not like come up here, weigh yourself, good or bad, go. Like, it's not that intrusive. It's literally just me trying to educate them, answering questions, go back. So it's like do that once a week, and then a couple of times a month I do a monthly seminar as well at the same health club on a different subject. So that sometimes fits into the the weekly schedule. But so I just change things here and there. That's roughly what it looks like. Can always change. With personal training, you do get a lot of cancellations and a lot of people, oh, can I move here? So there's a lot of like time on your phone, like constantly switching that diary, but that's ideally what you'd like to see, yeah. I'm just in the middle of converting my garage into a studio gym. So that will hopefully be up and running by next week. Once that happens, a lot of my clients will be training there with me, because in that respect, I don't have to pay any rent or as many overheads on what I would have to externally. However, I am freelancing at the same health club I mentioned before as a personal trainer, nutrition coach, doing all that kind of stuff. So I try, and if I do go there and have clients, because it doesn't pay as well as wherever I do it on my own, try and block them out like 7, 8, 9 back to back, so it's worth it essentially. Yeah, and they just take a cut of what. So essentially the client pays the health club, I get a proportion of that percentage cut, and then I invoice them at the end of each month on the hours I've done. There is a lot of different ways to do it. Some gyms like, okay, pay £400 rent, you can go in there and you can charge whatever you want, and then you can take everything. So that works for some people. Normally people that already have quite a big client base already, because if you don't, you're paying that rent, you've got to build up your client base, you're not going to be making much money. Some clubs like the health club I'm there, they have internal personal trainers where they give them a salary, not a huge salary, so then they've got the option to do personal training on the side and make a bit of money that way. And then there's obviously people like me, self-employed, that try and do it all themselves, or a bit of freelancing, bit of both. So there's a few ways to do it. It's just going straight into the industry. I always say just get into a health club or a gym, because you don't need to market yourself. You're surrounded by everyone, so they're going to come to you. Well, you should go to them, but they're going to be there, they're going to want to. Whereas if you start off on your own, you've really got to market yourself, and it's a long old slog. So I did about 3 years full time on the gym floor. So that's 40 hours on the gym floor, and I'd probably do an extra 15 hours personal training outside of those hours, and probably about 10 side in. So I was doing, God, my maths isn't there, but probably roughly 20 hours just on the gym floor, and probably 35 hours or 30 hours PT. But it was too much. So once I'd done 3 years, got a client base, I went down to part-time, and then eventually went down to on my own. So it's kind of a laddered approach, taking time off the gym floor and building up the PT hours. It sounds very cliche. It is a lot of cliche answers really, because I'm doing a job I really like I'm really passionate about it. Like they say, you don't do a day of work if you enjoy it. It is work, but I don't see it as work when I'm kind of just reading up on stuff at home in my spare time, or staying up at 10 o'clock doing like geeking out on stuff, like even though it essentially is work. But the most rewarding thing, the most satisfying thing is when you've taken a client from, so my main demographic is weight loss, because that's what is mostly around us, compared to athletes and everything. Most people want to lose weight. So taking from someone from 110 kilograms to 80 kilograms, and then just coming up to you and just giving you a massive hug and saying thank you so much, or hearing other people come up to you like, oh, you've done so well with so-and-so, they're so happy, and just being able to change someone's life, again, really cliche, is rewarding. If it's not weight loss, if they've had like seriously bad IBS, or they're type 2 diabetic, and you've helped them go from 100 kilograms down to 70, and they're no longer type 2 diabetic, that's huge. Or if they've had IBS for years and they've tried loads of stuff, and then you put them on like a simple program, and they're like, oh, I haven't got it anymore. That's kind of good. Yeah. At first is scaling up. I think you've just got to be willing to put in the hours at first. Like I was doing, that was like I said, 55 hours. Doesn't sound like much on a typical work week, but that's like spread out. That's like starting at 6 a.m, finishing at 9:30 or 10. So overall it's probably way more than that, but not including the hour break. So just that's probably the most challenging side of it, getting into it. But you've got to be able to do that for a couple of years just to get there, and then you can start to take time off. You can start doing 30 hours of PT and spending another 10 hours time on your business to then scale up. But I think those initial first couple of years are really, really important. Maybe a year, depends how quickly you excel. But also for me, for the online coaching stuff, it's probably marketing. That's, yeah, definitely don't excel well there. So I need to kind of leverage out to companies to try and educate myself a bit further. For the first kind of 5 to 10 years as a typical career path, it's either get into a gym, get really busy, get good, increase your hour, increase your rate, and just kind of dominate your gym or your area, depending if you're like self-employed. And then when you get to like, I don't know, 30s, 40s, depending when you get into industry, if you're getting into industry, let's say in your 20s, then when you're at 30 to 40, a lot of people are like, can I carry on doing this? Or some of them do go off into another career, or they think, right, what can I do? That's different to what everyone else is doing. So some people go into educating other PTs, like doing mentorship programs, how to bring kind of PTs businesses up. Some people go into like going abroad, working abroad. Some people create their own gym. Some people, which would be like for members and everything, some people go into creating their own studio where they could just charge other PTs to rent their space. So they're the kind of main paths. I think most people in their heads always think, oh, I'm going to get my own gym, but that's not always the best way to go. I've like seen a lot of people do that, and unfortunately hasn't worked out. There's a lot of overheads in it, so just do the maths before doing that, definitely. Not saying you can't do it, like if you do it, you can do really, really well, but it's something to really look into before you do it. My kind of plan is to get a bit more experience doing these kind of seminars in front of people, and then go into corporate businesses doing kind of wellness programs, plans and stuff that way, because again, you haven't got any overheads, literally going in there, they pay you don't need clients because you're in front of, let's say this company's got 1,000 people, they all go over on a lunch break, you could even do it for free, but the amount of people you're speaking to there, it's just free advertising, and at least one out of those 1,000 are gonna, you know, at least approach you and sign up. I've got an accountant, I've got graphic designer who did all my kind of logos and stuff, so I don't actually use her for too much anymore. If I wanted like a PDF file or like an ebook done, or like she'd be able to do that for me. She's actually one of my clients, so this is another good thing. I've got clients in accounting, I've got clients in graphic design, you've got clients all over the place. I've got a client that's a carpenter, he's about to do my gym for me, so you kind of get that relationship with people and they help you in your business while you're training, which is kind of handy. Who else? Work closely with like physios and doctors and stuff like that, because you refer each other, so you get like a little networking group with people like that. That's at the moment. Website designer, have him doing stuff, and for online coaching, I use a actual personal training app software, so I work closely with the team there. So yeah, there's quite a few people. I did enjoy school, and looking back, I didn't take it seriously at all, really, which was fine. Well, I don't regret it one bit because I'm really happy where I am, but if I had the passion I had a few years later on from school and knew where I would put my focus, like now I spend my evenings like reading stuff, and at school, like homework was not a thing for me. I just wanted to play with my mates. So during school, funnily enough, my best subject was art until kind of year 11. So I had I could just draw for some reason very well, and paint. So I took that at GCSE because I knew that was like a guaranteed A or A star. And then I did all the other subjects I had to do. And then second to that, I loved PE. So PE was again where I excelled. Did both of those at college because they're the ones I enjoyed most, and human biology because in PE I realised the theory side of things I had a really strong sort of niche for. I don't know, I just again seem to do really well there without trying too much. So I did those. Art was way too much coursework, so I kind of just binned that aside, and I didn't really like art, I was just good at it, so I wanted to do something I enjoyed. So then, yeah, looked into kind of anatomy, physiology side of things, was doing well. My friend asked me, do you want to be a personal trainer? I thought, yeah, go for it. And yeah, that's where I went. So yeah, when I first got into the industry, and I think a lot of people go into the industry who have no idea about any business skills. And I speak to like other people in other businesses, like my friends, I'm like, so what are you doing here? They're like, oh, you're actually pretty good. But I actually probably learned it mostly from the first seminars I went to. It's a guy called Phil Lerney. He does some really cool stuff. So he's actually got a year course now called the Advanced Coaching Academy, which I'd again recommend. I can't believe I haven't said that yet, to any personal trainers going into the industry. So it covers nutrition, the physiology, anatomy side of things, so the training side of things, but also business and competency. So it has a huge section of that, like hundreds and hundreds of videos to go through and listen to. And before he did that, I just went to like weekend seminars. It cost like £150 for like business, and there's like things I'd have no idea about before. And you walked away and I thought I was like Gary Vaynerchuk. I was like, wow, I know everything. But you just don't, there's so much there. Then I started reading a bit more on like business books. And yeah, where I am at the moment, or where I was in that health club, there's a lot of very sort of well off, or not well off, just successful business people. So just talking to people, I see my clients, just trying to learn from them and applying that to my business. And other than that, it's winging it as well. Seeing what works and what works, going with it. If it doesn't, put it off. Again, really cliche, because you always hear this in like the self-help books and everything, or business stuff, but it would be like not being scared of failing. Like I probably held back way too long at first because I was scared of, you know, starting off my business and it failing and everyone thinking, oh, he's a failure. But like, you do fail. You don't always fail, but even if you do, so what? Like if you keep on going, you are going to succeed, especially in this industry. Like by I think 2030, it's predicted like 80% of people are going to be overweight or obese. It's not far off that now, it's like 60 something. So you're never going to be out of pocket. You just got to keep on trying and you will, you know, land on your feet. You're never going to be out of business. So I'd say that. Also probably not working, like I mentioned earlier, slogging away for a while. I probably did it too long, like 3 years or so before I went to part-time. I would have probably done 1.5 years to 2 years working all those hours, then really cut back and, you know, put 10 to 15 hours a week on, you know, time in my business, trying to move on rather than time in my business. Because, you know, you can only, if you work 50 hours a week, charging £40, you can only earn a certain amount, or you've got to keep on putting your prices up, which isn't always, you know, advisable if you're spending just an hour on your client and spending an hour on 50 other clients. Like they're not getting the most out of it. So you need to take a step back, build up a business, then you can, you know, afford to spend more time on them and bring your prices up. So yeah, I'd probably have made that decision a bit quicker. I'd just say get into a gym, and then from there, you might be in there a month, you're like, right, this isn't for me. You might want to go do something else, or you might want to do a different part of the industry, but I'd say give that the best shot, because you're just going to be surrounded by so many different people. You could have a 19-year-old guy here trying to gain a bit of weight. You can have an old lady come in with a hip replacement, and you're just all of a sudden learning so much more than what they've taught you on a 6-week course, and you just absorb so much information, and it's just free knowledge. They're coming to you. You don't have to try and sell yourself and find them. They're literally coming to you for help, and you can just learn so much. And then just, you know, go wherever your passion is. If you like nutrition, go down nutrition. If you like S&C, so strength and conditioning, go down that route. Yeah.